Hey everyone, this is Sfynx. It's that time of the year again and I'm excited to share my updated Top 50 Solo Board Games 2024 edition. Yes, this year I'll be talking about 50 games. Just a quick heads up before we dive in. I'll only be ranking games I've played enough to feel confident about their placement. If a game isn't on this list, it might be because I haven't played it enough yet or simply haven't had the chance to try it out. Or maybe I'd rather play it multiplayer and not solo. Of course, this is my personal list, so your favorites might differ and that's okay. Instead of debating preferences, let's celebrate them. I'd love to hear your favorite solo games in the comments below. Who knows, maybe you will introduce me to my next favorite game. On screen, you will see a few honorable mentions. Games I enjoy solo, but didn't quite make the cut this year or need a few more plays to climb the ranks. Also, this video took a lot of time and effort to make. If you enjoy it, let me know by liking, commenting and subscribing. Alright, enough chatting, let's jump into my list. Starting off at number 50 with the button shy game, ROVE is one of my favorite puzzly games in a small format. With just 18 cards and expansions that add meaningful depth, ROVE presents a tough, thinky spatial puzzle that I thoroughly enjoy. It's one of those games that really challenges me and offers a lot of replayability despite its small footprint. It's an excellent example of how a simple concept can offer lots of depth and strategic possibilities. I've been a fan of Ragemore for years now. This is a fantastic solo game from Button Shy with just 18 cards, and it's a gritty dark fantasy experience that feels really immersive. The interconnected gameplay mechanisms really make you think strategically. The only reason it's not higher on my list is that it can be a bit complicated to remember all the actions, and I often need to consult the rules after not having played the game for a while. Despite that, it's a stellar game that keeps me coming back every time. Fliptown really caught me off guard. At first glance, it seems like a typical flip and write, but it turns out there's a clever twist. You use regular poker cards. In each round, you turn over 3 cards. The first 2 determine your location and action, while the third card is part of a poker hand you're assembling across several rounds. This small addition adds a surprising amount of depth and strategic thinking to the game. It truly is an excellent design. Leviathan Wilds is another hit for me. The concept of climbing onto Leviathans and smashing their crystals using a card-based mechanism sounded great on paper, and it definitely delivered. The way the decks are assembled is innovative, adding a fresh layer of strategy. Plus, having all the Leviathans included in a spiral notebook is a nice touch, making setup incredibly quick and easy. It's a game I need to play more often because it offers a really unique experience that stands out in today's oversaturated gaming world. Living Forest combines 2 of my favorite mechanisms, deck building and push your luck, and it does so nearly perfectly. The game has a great animal theme, and the multiple ways to win keep things exciting every time you play. The fact that the cards always come out differently from game to game adds to its replayability, ensuring that no 2 sessions are alike. It's a game I need to get to the table more often, as it provides a fun mix of strategy and tension that I really enjoy. Fantastic Factories is an engine building game that lets you construct an efficient factory capable of doing more and more cool things as the game progresses. It's easy to learn and quick to play, making it a perfect choice for both newcomers and experienced gamers. The solo mode is simple yet challenging, providing an enjoyable experience that doesn't overstay its welcome. It's a neat little game that combines strategic planning with an accessible set of rules, and I love how the gameplay always feels dynamic. I'm not usually a huge fan of roll and write or flip and write games, but Cartographers has been one of my favorites for years. It's all about trying to amass as many points as possible while drawing out beautiful landscapes, and the satisfaction of filling in those spaces and planning the perfect layout is incredibly rewarding. The game offers great replayability. If you're a fan of flip and writes, Cartographers is one of the absolute best out there. Distilled is a game I'm incredibly glad I backed, despite its higher price and relative rarity. In this game, you're distilling your own alcohol, and the thematic depth is remarkable. It's clear the designers truly understand the distilling process, which makes the gameplay feel authentic. With great components and smooth mechanisms, this one plays excellently across all player counts, including solo. Sfynx is the first game by Impatience Games on this list, and is definitely a standout. This is a tight, puzzly tile manipulation game where you're trying to solve riddles before time runs out. What makes it even better is the multiple difficulty settings, allowing you to tailor the challenge to your liking. The game's art style and components are also top-notch, adding to the overall experience. Whether you're a fan of puzzles or just looking for a game that really gets you thinking, Sfynx is a must-try in my opinion. SpaceShipped is another button shy game that I really enjoy. It's a pure solo game with just 18 cards where you buy and sell goods to earn enough money to purchase the crystals you need. However, there's a tight timer and various events that try to mess with your plans, making the game incredibly challenging. It's not easy to win, but that's part of the fun. The game offers a lot of replayability with an exciting puzzle element that keeps me coming back to try and improve my strategy each time. Well, that doesn't mean I succeed. Next up is Parks, a game that is breathtakingly beautiful with amazing components. The mechanisms are straightforward yet engaging. You move your hiker along a trail to collect resources for visiting parks or taking pictures of wildlife. It's a relaxing yet strategic experience that works wonderfully at all player counts. The excellent insert and overproduction quality just add to the charm of this great game. Loam being on this list might come as a surprise to many of you, but it's one of my favorite solo games of all time. It's a little gem that combines set collection with unique mechanisms like card-directed actions and the balance of soil nutrients. The theme is incredibly original, and the clay art gives the game a distinct charm. I really love how it brings a lot of satisfaction when you get everything just right. Definitely a hidden gem in the solo game world. This War of Mine is a tough one to rank. I both enjoy playing it and struggle with it. The game is deeply depressing with a heavy theme of survival in a war-torn country. You need to manage food, water and heat, scavenge at night and protect your home from invaders. It's emotionally taxing, but the gameplay itself is stellar. The level of immersion and the hard decisions you must make really stick with you. Despite its weighty nature, so to speak, this game is a treasure to keep and a reminder of how powerful indirect storytelling in games can be. Mycelia is one of my favorite entry-level deck-building games. It's absolutely beautiful and has an adorable theme, making it easy to play with family members or people who don't typically play board games. What makes it stand out is that it also includes an advanced mode for more veteran players, making it appealing to a wide range of audiences. The solo mode is particularly amazing, providing a challenging and enjoyable experience. I still can't believe this was nominated for Spiel des Jahres 2024. One of my most favorite button shy games, Death Valley, is a push your luck game with just 18 cards. The solo mode is great, as is the two-player mode. The different effects and ways to score points really add to the challenge of not only building a tableau, but also managing when to gamble a bit too much. Additionally, the theme and artwork are really nice, giving the game a bit of extra charm while trying to record your journey through Death Valley. One Deck Dungeon was one of my first solo games, and it still holds up. This tiny box provides a fun and challenging dice building and dice placement experience where you're trying to descend into a dungeon, defeating enemies and mastering traps along the way. The quick setup, ease of play, and the level of challenge make this game an essential part of any solo gamer's collection. It's a fantastic example of how a small game can pack a lot of depth and excitement. Cascadia remains one of my absolute favorite gateway games. It's simple to teach and quick to play, but don't let its accessibility fool you. The gameplay is deeply tactical and delightfully puzzly. It's never overwhelming but always engaging. I also love the achievements in the family mode, which add even more layers of fun. This is a must-have for any board game collection, especially for solo gamers. The Artemis project is one of my favorite dice placement games. The high player interaction adds a tactical layer that is quite me but absolutely brilliant. You can push others down specific tracks to reduce their rewards while risking the same happening to you. And the solo mode is particularly well done, capturing the essence of the multiplayer game extremely well. Castellion is a great entry in the Onirim series by Shady Torby. It's a tile-laying game with amazing artwork by Elise Plessis and offers a delightful puzzle gameplay experience. What I like most is that you don't just build your castle, but you also have to deconstruct part of it as you progress, since some later objectives clash with earlier ones. It's a bit luck-based at times, but despite that, it's still an amazing design that keeps you engaged from start to finish. Villagers is a game I first discovered on Board Game Arena and instantly loved it. I knew I had to add this to my collection. It's a simple drafting and tableau building game with adorable artwork that is a lot more thinky than you might first think. The game plays well solo or multiplayer and has become one of my favorite small box games. Its charm is in how easy it is to teach and how strategic the decisions are, making it a delight to return to over and over. Onirim of the Onirim series remains a favorite of mine. It's a card game about arranging sets to unlock doors before your deck runs out, but the nightmare cards keep you on your toes. If you're new to the series, this might be the perfect starting point. Simple to learn and endlessly engaging. You can also try this first on mobile before getting the physical version. Some even enjoy the digital implementation more. Sleeping Gods, designed by my most favorite board game designer Ryan Lockett, is an exceptional campaign-based game. It features stunning artwork, a richly immersive world, and fascinating little stories. Your decisions truly matter, with events, items, and encounters affecting each other in meaningful ways. While it's a bit more complex, it's well worth the effort. Cyberion is one of my most favorite games in the Onirim series. There are several moving parts that really push you to employ different strategies, but the rules are still simple to grasp. It's an incredibly elegant game with a fantastic balance between rules complexity and gameplay depth. The art by Elise Precis is, as always, absolutely stunning. Every time I play, I'm reminded of why I love this game so much. It's rewarding, beautifully designed, and just an all-around excellent solo experience. Skulls of Sedlec is one of my favorite button shy games. Like the other button shy games, it's a tiny game, just 18 cards, but it offers a fantastic spatial puzzle where you arrange skulls into specific patterns. The twist? Each skull has a unique scoring condition, turning the game into a satisfying and challenging puzzle to solve. The base game is great, but I do recommend adding 1 or 2 expansions to really make the solo experience shine. It's a perfect example of how a small game can offer a lot of strategic depth. I highly recommend it if you're looking for a quick yet engaging solo experience. The Imperium series is a truly remarkable set of deck building games. It didn't hit the table as often this year due to its complexity, but the design is amazing. There's so much replayability here, with every civilization offering a completely different playstyle. The depth of strategy is mind-blowing, and the way each faction interacts with the others keeps the experience fresh every time. It's a game I really need to get to the table more often because it's just that good. Every session offers new challenges and new ways to explore the game. Galdor's Grip is one of my most favorite portable solo games. It is the most portable one I know since it's only 18 cards, although you can add more cards from the expansions and can be played in your hand. You can play this anywhere you go, don't need a table, and the gameplay is excellent. It's only ranked 25 on my all-time favorite solo board games list, but it would probably be my number 1 solo game to take with me when I leave home. Stellarion is another game in the Onirim series, and it's fantastic. The game revolves around managing 8 decks of cards, and knowing what's in each deck adds a unique layer of strategy. Like other Oniverse games, the included expansions only make it better. It's a brilliant design and a joy to play solo. Cthulhu Death May Die is chaotic, wild, and so much fun. It's a dice chugger at heart, but the insanity mechanism adds an exciting twist, making you stronger as you edge closer to defeat. The production quality is way over the top, but it's undeniably an entertaining experience that I keep coming back to. Sleeping Gods Distant Skies builds on the original game with a more streamlined design, making it easier to get to the table and more fluid to play. While the original might have the edge in terms of storytelling, the sequel is probably the best entry point into the series. Ryan Logger continues to showcase his brilliance as a game designer with this excellent follow-up. Skoventyr is another game by Impatience Games, and it's such a great title. It's thematically based on Danish folklore, which is unique and really cool. It's a very hard and tight game, but so satisfying when you beat it. It works best solo, but can be played with up to 4 players. An amazing game I recommend to anyone looking for a challenging solo experience in a small box. Late to the party, since this game is 10 years old, but man, I'm happy I finally played it. Orléans is such an elegant game, where all you do is pull a number of workers from your bag, but the implications and tactical gameplay are very deep, and the new anniversary edition is stunningly beautiful. Warp's Edge is still one of the best bag building games I own. The challenge of defeating a mothership by gathering tokens and taking down enemy ships is so engaging. It's tough to win, but incredibly rewarding when you do. This game has cemented its place in my collection for a good reason. It used to be my number 1 2 years ago, so imagine how good the next 18 games must be. Creature Caravan is the latest game by Ryan Loggett, my favorite board game designer. You lead a caravan across the lands, fighting off zombies and recruiting creatures to aid you. A beautiful tableau builder that plays differently each time depending on the cards you draw. While it plays well multiplayer, it's probably best solo. One of my most favorite new discoveries of the year. Black Angel is one of the most complex games I own, and while it doesn't hit the table extremely often, I love it so much that it's a mainstay in my collection. Everyone I've played it with enjoys it too, which is a testament to its design. Sébastien Dujardin created an amazing blend of different board game mechanisms that feel like mini-games, and it works really well. Also, the components are just amazing. Peacemakers Horrors of War, the new edition of Dawn of Peacemakers, is the best version it can possibly be. The gameplay has been streamlined greatly, superfluous aspects have been removed, and new elements such as the horror cards have been added. All of that greatly improves the game. The game is elegantly designed and offers achievements, unique characters, factions with different battle strategies, and a strong emphasis on the, sadly, very relevant theme of war. Expeditions is another really overproduced game. The tiles and mechs are way too large, and the table space required is ridiculously huge. But despite all that, the game is incredibly fun, especially with the new expansion that speeds up the start, which I really like. The card management and the variety of different goals you can pursue are well designed, and I really enjoy the strategic decisions it presents. It's one of those games where, despite its excessiveness, I keep coming back for more. I just wish the components were a bit smaller. It would make everything feel more manageable. Bullet is such a unique and fun game that I had to include it again this year. The solo and cooperative boss modes are my favorite ways to play. The gameplay revolves around clearing bullets using patterns, and the asymmetry between characters keeps it fresh. It's challenging, addictive, and unlike everything else I've played. Roleplayer continues to be a game I adore. It's a dice placement game with a creative twist. You're building a character complete with a backstory, alignment, and class, just like in an RPG. The thematic touches and strategic gameplay make it so much fun, and it's even better with expansions. Whether playing solo or with friends, this game always delivers. Although, I wouldn't play it with the full player count. It's almost best solo. Tapestry is a big, complex game that is totally overproduced, but I can't help but love it. The components look stunning on the table, and while it doesn't hit the table often, when it does, the experience is incredible. The game's elegance is striking, minimal rules paired with deep strategic depth. The expansions and various civilizations add so much variety and fun to the game. If you haven't tried it yet, you can give it a go on Board Game Arena. Feel free to reach out to me there if you'd like to play. SkyTeam is quite possibly the best two-player game out there. It's simple to teach and understand, but the thrill of trying to win together is unmatched. In this cooperative game, one player takes the role of the pilot, while the other is the co-pilot, and together you must land a plane. As you progress through the missions, new modules make the game increasingly challenging. It's a delightful, heart-pounding experience. Wait, why is it on my solo list? Well, I've cheated a bit, because I've created a solo mode for this game, which is not official, but you can find it in a video on my channel. And honestly, I play the solo mode quite often, much more often than at the intended two-player count. It works pretty well, if I do say so myself. Dawn of the Zeds makes it into my top 10 again this year. It's a long and complex game, but when I have the time to sit down and play, the experience is unmatched. It's tense, exciting, and offers a level of immersion that few games can rival. This really keeps me on the edge of my seat every single time. Wingspan remains one of my most favorite medium-weight solo games, and its solo mode is excellent. While I do prefer playing with others, the solo version captures the same engaging gameplay and smooth mechanisms. The components and artwork are gorgeous, and the game strikes a perfect balance between approachability and depth. It's a joy to play every time. It's a Wonderful World continues to be a staple in my collection. The rules are simple, but the game itself is delightfully tactical and requires careful planning. The solo scenarios are just as engaging as the multiplayer games, and I love how much thought goes into every decision. The game's subtle, cynical theme adds a unique flavor to the experience. Slay the Spire has been one of the best games I've discovered in 2024. It might just be the perfect adaptation of a video game into a board game. The game captures the essence of the video game wonderfully, with just the right adjustments to make it work on the table. It's a really fantastic solo experience. The design is brilliant, and it's incredibly satisfying to strategize your way through the Spire, overcoming challenging foes. Keep the Heroes Out is a stunning game with adorable artwork and components. Don't be deceived by its cute appearance though, it's incredibly challenging. I'm far from mastering all scenarios, which showcase impressive variety with different monsters that all play uniquely. This is easily one of the best games I've ever played, blending charm with a tough, rewarding experience. Spirit Island is one of the best cooperative games I've ever played, and it shines solo as well. Instead of playing as settlers, you're the island spirits, defending it from invaders. Each spirit has its own unique powers and abilities, adding a ton of variety to the game. It's challenging, strategic, and incredibly satisfying to play. A must-have for any solo gamer looking for a challenge. Hexplored is still one of my top picks, and for a good reason. The game lets you choose a character and prepare for an epic boss battle by exploring the map, completing quests, and battling enemies. What really stands out is the incredible variety of characters you can play as, and the sense of progression as you grow stronger throughout the game. It doesn't hit the table very often, but every playthrough feels like a new adventure, and I love that. The Castles of Burgundy has been a favorite of mine for years. I've played more than 200 games, but the latest edition from Awakened Realms truly elevates the solo experience. The updated solo mode feels like you're playing against a real opponent, adding an exciting layer of challenge to the game. The Ocean solo mode still holds up, but this new edition has taken an already incredible game and made it even better for solo play. Lands of Galdor remains my most favorite narrative-driven game. While it doesn't include traditional progression or loot mechanisms, its rich storytelling and immersive world make up for it. Every session feels like diving into an engaging tale, and the game setting is so vibrant and alive. And a fun little bonus? You can even find Surthekers within the game. How cool is that? Taking the top spot again this year is Aeon's End. This deck building game has been a favorite of mine for years, and it's earned this position by consistently delivering incredible gameplay for me. Whether solo or multiplayer, the experience is fantastic either way, but I mostly played solo. The sheer amount of content available for this game is staggering, ensuring that I never run out of new things to try. Its design is so solid that it's no surprise it's climbed its way to the very top over time. And to be frank, I think it's going to be hard to dethrone it anytime soon. And there you have it, my top solo board games for 2024. Now it's your turn. What are your favorite games to play solo? Share your picks in the comments and feel free to chat with others about your favorites. I always enjoy seeing what you all love to play. Before I go, a massive thank you to everyone who supports the channel. Your encouragement means the world to me. A special shout out to my patrons and especially to my top supporter Thagonor. I highly appreciate your generosity. If you'd like to support me too, you can do so by watching, liking and commenting on my videos, supporting me on Patreon and joining my Discord server to hang out with me and my amazing community. Alright, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the very next video or on my Discord server. Take care everyone, stay safe and cheers.